Good evening, viewers. I welcome you all to this class of Sid Sir classes. It's a video lecture class on fundamental rights of Indian Constitution. Constitution is the fundamental law of the land, and so are the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are required for every citizen of India for maintaining a decent standard of living and for protecting himself from all the evil means. These fundamental rights are mentioned in Part 3 of our Constitution from Article 12 to 35. Today, I have come up with some MCQs, that is multiple choice questions for you on fundamental rights. I shall ask you the questions and give you 4 options. And also you will be given a particular time. Within that time, try to answer it. After the time is over, you will be given the correct option. Then you can assess your knowledge of fundamental rights. So let's start. So here comes our first question on fundamental rights. Which of the following is described as the Magna Carta of Indian Constitution? And your options are option A, fundamental rights, option B, fundamental duties, option C, DPSP, option D, none of these. Your time starts now. So you can see that the correct answer is fundamental rights. This Magna Carta was a bill that was signed by British King James II in the year 1215, and it is said that this was the first valid document on rights. So for the first time, rights were granted to common people by the Magna Carta in the year 1215. That's why the Magna Carta of England is compared with the fundamental rights of Indian Constitution. Our next question. In which part and articles of the Constitution are the fundamental rights mentioned? And your options here are option A, Part 3 from Article 12 to 35, option B, Part 4 from Article 36 to 51, option C, Part 4 Article 51A, and option D, none of these. As I have already discussed, so it will be easy for you to answer it. Your time starts now. I think you have guessed it right. The correct answer is option A, Part 3, Article 12 to 35 contains the provisions of fundamental rights in Indian Constitution. Our next question on fundamental rights. On whom does the Constitution confer special responsibility for the enforcement of fundamental rights? Options are here: President, Supreme Court, option C, Parliament, and option D, Election Commission. Your time starts now. So the time is over, and the correct answer is option B, Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the guardian of our fundamental rights. Next question. Any dispute regarding the violation of fundamental rights can be presented before which body? And the options are option A, Executive, option B, Legislature, option C, Judiciary, and option D, none of these. Your time starts now. So now the correct answer is given. It is Judiciary. As you all know that Supreme Court is the guardian of our Constitution. Supreme Court and High Court, they are the judiciary of India. So the correct answer is option C. Judiciary can be any case of breach of fundamental rights can be presented before judiciary. Here comes your next question. The state under Article 12 of Indian Constitution includes 1. The Government and Parliament of India. 2. The Government and Legislatures of States. 3. Local authorities or other authorities within the territory of India or under the control of Government of India. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1, 2 and 3. Option B, 1 and 2. Option C, 2 and 3. Option D, 1 and 3. Your time starts now. Now the correct answer is option A. There has been a very specific definition of state, means our nation, in Constitution that has been defined in Article 12 of our Constitution. The fundamental rights are described in Part 3 of our Constitution from Article 12 to 35, but the fundamental rights starts from Article 14. Then what about Article 12 and 13? Article 12 defines state and Article 13 defines law. Now what is the definition of state? State here defined as the Government of India, the Parliament of India, and any organization under the Government of India or the Government of States, the state legislative assemblies, and any organization under the state governments, and any other organization that may be a semi-organization, that may be a full organization, directly or indirectly funded by the state governments or Government of India. All these entities will come under the periphery of state. I hope you have understood the answer. Let us move on to the next question. The question is, how many fundamental rights have been granted by the Constitution? And your options are option A 6, option B 7, option C 8, option D 9. Your time starts now. I think this is the easiest options given to you, and you all are correct. The answer is option A, 6 fundamental rights. Next question. Which of the following is a fundamental right under Part 3? Option A, right to equality, Article 14 to 18. Option B, right to freedom, Article 19 to 22. Option C, right against exploitation, Article 23 to 24. Option D, all of these. Your time starts now. And the correct answer is option D. Actually, you have 6 fundamental rights as enshrined in Part 3 of our Constitution. The 6 fundamental rights are right to equality from Article 14 to 18, right to freedom from Article 19 to 22, right against exploitation from Article 23 to 24, right to religion from Article 25 to 28, cultural and educational rights Article 29 and 30, and right to constitutional remedies from Article 32 to 35. Now let us go to our next question, and you can see the question on your screen. Which of the following is not a fundamental right under Part 3? And your options are option A, cultural and educational rights, Article 29 to 30. Option B, right to property, Article 31. Option C, right to constitutional remedies, Article 32 to 35. Option D, none of these. Your time starts now. And the correct answer is option B, right to property, Article 31. Right to property was initially a fundamental right, but since the year 1978, it is no more a fundamental right. It has been deleted from the list of fundamental rights. Now, right to property is a legal right under Article 300A. Here comes your next question on fundamental rights. Right to equality has been guaranteed in option A, Article 14 to 18, option B, Article 19 to 22, option C, Article 23 to 24, option D, Article 32 to 35. Your time starts now. And the correct answer is option A, Article 14 to 18. The fundamental rights start with the right to equality, and which starts from Article 14 up to Article 18. Our next question. The fundamental right that aims at the abolition of social distinctions is known as option A, right to vote, option B, right to equality, option C, right to property, option D, right to information. Here comes your time. And if you look very closely at the options, so it will not be very tough to get the answer, and the correct answer is option B, right to equality. Next question. How many articles come under right to equality? Options. Option A, 2, option B, 3, option C, 5, option D, 4. Your time starts now. And the correct answer is option C, 5, because right to equality consists of Article 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18, total 5 articles. Our next question. What is mentioned in Article 14? Option A, equality before law. Option B, equal protection of law. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of this. Your time starts now. And the answer is both A and B. Dear friends, the right to equality in the very first article, Article 14, mentions about 2 corollaries of right to equality. One corollary is equality before law, and the second corollary is equal protection of law. The first one, that is equality before law, is a British concept, which is a negative concept, and the second one, equal protection of law, is an US concept, which is a positive concept. So your answer here will be option C, both A and B. That is what is mentioned in Article 14. Both mention equality before law and equal protection of law. So the answer is option C, both A and B. Next question. Which article prohibits discrimination against any citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth? Options are option A, Article 18, option B, Article 15, option C, Article 17, option D, Article 21. Your time starts now. And the correct answer is option B, Article 15. From Article 14 to 18, they come under the first right of Indian citizen, that is right to equality. And Article 15 mentions about the prohibition of discrimination against any citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. So the correct answer here is option B, Article 15. Our next question. Equality of opportunity in public employment is guaranteed by which article of Indian Constitution? Options are here: Article 17, option B, Article 19, option C, Article 16, option D, Article 20. Your time starts now. And yes, you are correct. The correct option is Article 16. Article 16 mentions about the prohibition of discrimination on certain grounds for getting a government job. So this makes our Article 16 very special to us. Our next question on fundamental rights. Which article of Indian Constitution abolishes untouchability? Options are Article 18, options B, Article 14, option C, Article 15, option D, Article 17. Your time starts now. And the correct answer is option D, Article 17. Dear friends, untouchability has been a curse in Indian society since the inception of Indian civilization. Dr. B. R. Ambedkar, the first law minister of India and also the main person behind our constitution, he has suffered throughout his life due to this untouchability. So when India got independence, it was made a provision that there will be no more practice of untouchability in India, and whoever is found practicing the evil course of untouchability, severe action will be taken against him. And for that reason, several laws has been enacted in respect of the prohibition of untouchability, and the practice of untouchability has been banned under Article 17 of Indian Constitution. So the answer is Article 17. Next question. In Indian Constitution, as per fundamental rights, abolition of untouchability comes under which article? Option A, right to equality, option B, right to freedom, option C, right against exploitation, option D, right to constitutional remedies. And your time starts now. So here you are, the correct answer is option A, right to equality. As I have already mentioned that the right to equality consists of Article 14 to 18. Article 14 describes about equality before law. Article 15 describes about prohibition of discrimination on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth. Article 16 describes about prohibition of discrimination on the certain grounds for getting a public job or government job. Article 17 describes about the banning and prohibition of untouchability. Article 18 mentions about banning of using titles. So all of these come under the right to equality. So in Indian Constitution, as per our fundamental rights, abolition of untouchability comes under option A, right to equality, by Article 17 of Indian Constitution. Next question. Please listen carefully. Here it is. Article 18 of the Indian Constitution gives the provision of abolition of titles. Which of the following are the provisions under abolition of titles? Option A, no title not being a military or academic distinction shall be conferred by the state. Option B, no citizen of India shall accept any title from any foreign state. Option C, no person who is not a citizen of India shall, while holds any office of profit or trust under the state, accept without the consent of the president any title from any foreign state. Option D, all of them. Your time starts now. and the correct answer is option D, all of them. As per Article 18, the reception of any sort of title has been banned, but for military excellence or academic excellence or in the field of social service, some titles are already given by Indian government, and you can accept those titles like Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, and academic distinctions also like doctorate degree. These are allowed in Indian Constitution. This was our very first class on fundamental rights and Indian Constitution. Hope you liked this short and sweet lecture. But we are determined to come again with many more questions on fundamental rights and different chapters of Indian Constitution. If you really like this class, then please do share and subscribe. And if there is any sort of loopholes or flaws from our side, please mention it in the comment side. We will be happy because your valuable comments will help us grow further. Thank you very much, and with this note, your Siddhartha sir, I am signing off today. God bless us all.